Hello, Earth Teens. What am I doing? I'm making a video. This is gonna be a video of me making bralettes from boxers. Yes, they're clean. They haven't been used. It's not a tutorial. I might explain how I do it, but it's not a tutorial. It's mostly a just watch me sew. It's not structured. I'm just gonna be like making it up as I go. That's what I usually do anyway. I might use a pattern, I might not, but it's gonna be entertaining, maybe, but you're gonna like watching it. So if you want to see me turn this and these and then these into bralettes, then stay tuned. Okay, so here I am. I'm using both of these boxers to make one bralette, so it'll be two-tone because I thought that would be cute. So what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting the elastic off of the bottom of the top of the boxers to be the bottom of the bralette, so it'll hold together. So that's the elastic I'm going to use for the bottom, and on the other pair of the boxers I'm going to use that elastic to be the straps for the top. And what I'm about to do now is that little part that has like the serged edges. I'm going to use that as the bases to be the bralette top, because you know bralettes are like triangular, I guess. Yeah, they're triangular. So I thought, oh, that's already vaguely in the shape of the bralette, so I'm going to use that as the pattern, and I'm going to do the same thing I just did on those boxers on these. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm lining up both of the pieces just to see how they would look together, and I really like the two-tone camouflage look. I really like that. I thought that was cute. So now I'm just trying to get it into the shape of the bralette. So I'm folding it back to since I'm using both of them, I'm gonna need both sides to be in this shape. So I'm just lining them up to make them look right, and then I'm gonna flip it over to trace it to get the right shape. As you see, I'm doing that now, and I'm gonna cut off the excess. And you should probably not do that before you sew, just in case you need the excess, but also you probably shouldn't use a highlighter to trace, but it doesn't really matter to me. But if you're doing somebody else's clothes, probably don't use a highlighter because it's not gonna come out. You use the invisible ink marker or the chalk or whatever. But I traced it, and now I'm cutting off the excess because those are the two pieces I'm gonna face together to sew. You face the front sides together and pin it. Well, you'll see that's what I do. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what I'm gonna end up doing. And that'll be the first bralette panel to cover my first titty. Yeah. And I don't know if you could tell on this one, the pieces that I'm using are double layered, so I didn't have to cut it twice, which I liked. So I figured out a way to do it on the other side, and here the clip of me sewing cut out. So now I'm just cutting out the other side with the excess fabric, the part of me tracing the bralette panel to make that side cut out as well. I don't know where that footage is, but I used the first bralette panel that I sewed together to be the pattern for the first side of the second bralette, and I folded it and cut it like that so I wouldn't have to cut out two pieces to double it up, since that other side was already doubled up. And you'll see what I'm talking about on this side. I kept it on fold so that I could trace it on fold and then just cut it down the middle and just sew it like that. And that's what I'm doing here. I put the first bralette panel that I sewed down, and I'm cutting around it to make the other half of the second bralette panel. No, that sounds confusing, but it's not. And now I'm just cutting it down the middle. That way when I sew both of the sides that I use the pattern for, it'll already be doubled up. Like, I won't have to do, say if I didn't fold it and cut it in half like that, I would have had to do 2 full triangle panels of the green and 2 full triangle panels of the brown and cut it in half that way, instead of just doing one and cutting it down and pinning them together like I'm doing. And it's gonna come out the same as the other one, like 2 layers, so it'll be doubled up like that. So I'm pinning it down and then I'm gonna sew it together.
Say they want smoke, put them in the ashtray. Get the top down, then never last day. Bullets going how you dance like ballet. Young girl giving that on my birthday. Me and my team eat like buffet. Pouring up fake, I'm in a cafe. Got Lambo in my driveway. Don't work out, but I'm walking trainers. I'm with a girl, and she doing me favors. One hard, just like their favorite. That boy soft, just like a wife. She gave me a preview, just like a trailer.
Okay, so now you can see after I finished sewing it, it came out the same as the other side. This one came out a little bit bigger than the other panel that I did, but I fixed that later on. I didn't get to record it because my phone ran out of storage. But what I'm doing now is, because the other panel already had the serged edges, the excess that I cut off of that, I'm gonna cut the ends off of those and like sew, zigzag stitch down the raw serged edges. You can't be raw and serge, but I'm going to zigzag stitch the serge edges onto the raw edges of this bralette panel so that it'll match the other side. I could have left it undone and it would have just looked like different, but I wanted it to be like at least a little bit uniform, because I thought the serge edges were cute. Like, it made it look like, I don't know what it made it look like, but it made it look cute and I liked how it looked. And I struggled a bit here because I had a hard time zigzag stitching like both of the layers down, but I eventually figured it out. But the camera cut out before I could, like, I ran out of storage before you could see me do the other side. Also, I didn't have enough storage to record me sewing the elastic bottom band and the elastic top band onto the bralette panels, but you'll still see the finished product at the end.
Keep my dick hard and keep me smoking. You get bills free, shouting no joke. That's what I stand for. Break squad. I'ma die for this shouting, man, I swear. In the trap with some killers and some hood niggas. Where you at? What trap? You ain't hood, nigga. Keep this shit 300, put that shit on my hood. Chris fucking with me, she's in the vice mode. Essays in the Migos freestyle off the dome. Three squad, walk a flock of flame is fucking on. I go hard in the motherfucking paint, nigga. Leave you stankin', nigga. What the fuck you thinking, nigga? I won't die for this shit or what the fuck I say. Front yard, broad day with the S. See Gucci, that's my motherfucking nigga. I hang in the bell with the hit squad killer. Like a flock of flame, moving a hood ass nigga. Ride it real slow, big corners in my nigga.
Okay, I don't know the last part that was recording before it stopped. My phone keeps running out of storage, so I just decided to keep sewing without it being on camera. But this is the finished bralette. You probably see it better on me. But the last part, I think, was me putting the raw edges on this panel to match the other side. And then I just used the elastic from the boxers to make the waist, or the bottom part, and then I used the other piece of elastic to make the halter part of the bralette. I know I said I was going to make more bralettes, but because my phone is running out of storage, I'm not going to do those other boxers today. So if you want to see me make other bralettes and other things in the future, please like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, this isn't a tutorial, so if you wanted to figure out how to make this, I'm sorry.